to sorrow, and everyone must play the game. It's here today and gone tomorrow, but the world goes on the same.
Hope you put the cat out and turned off the gas, you can say without any reply. But what about the bran flakes? Real Kellogg's bran flakes is what they all reply. They're tasty, tasty, very, very tasty. They're very tasty. Never drink the water, we ought to send some postcards. I think there's a crab by your toes. But what about the bran flakes? Real Kellogg's bran flakes is what they all reply. They're tasty, tasty, very, very tasty. They're very tasty. Kellogg's bran flakes. They're very tasty.
Really moving occasions demand pictures that really move. The Amstrad Fidelity Videomatic camera, the whole shooting match for just £499.
Right. There seems to be some confusion about the best way to receive television from the Astra satellite. You won't need one of these, or these, or these, and definitely not one of these. You need one of these, the Amstrad Fidelity satellite dish and receiver system. Right now, you can receive 7 channels of Sky Movies, Sport, News, MTV Music, Kids, Lifestyle, and Light Entertainment. Many in glorious stereo, and with more to come. So use your head. Get your Amstrad Fidelity satellite system at the right price right now.
On holes, I knew I'd never catch a tin of salmon with one of these. So I dreamt of creamy thick Hellman's mayonnaise instead. Hellman's and tuna, Hellman's and prawns. Ooh. Ooh, beginner's luck, Hellman's and fish fingers, Hellman's real mayonnaise.
Dolly Skilbeck has the latest news and gossip from Beckendale. Call her now on the Emmerdale Farm phone line, 0898 555 620, to find out what's happening in this famous Yorkshire Dale. But remember to dial the 0898 code first. Now, something new. Let's go to the 19th hole of the Prince's Hill Golf Club.
Straight down the middle, it went straight down the middle. Then it started to hook just a wee, wee bit. That's when my caddy lost sight of it. That little white pellet has never been found to this day. But it went straight down the middle, far away.
Is that the new club logo, Mr. Secretary? Have we got to wear that on our blazers?
I don't think that's very funny.
Who do you think did it, Mr. Secretary? Someone having a go at us?
Well, it's not somebody who admires us, is it?
You think it's somebody who thinks we're a bit fascist, eh?
I think it's somebody's idea of a sick joke, that's what it is.
Made me laugh.
Do you think maybe it's someone we turned down for membership?
Oh, it's nobody we've accepted. The captain. Mr. Captain.
Sieg Heil, the Führer!
Captain Bennett, you're not very amusing.
Just trying to look on the lighter side of it, that's all.
There isn't a lighter side of it. It's a black day for the club, this is. I'm sorry, Captain. Vandals, obviously.
Tell you what's happened, Mr. Secretary. Somebody from that bloody council estate has done that. You know, if Hitler had won the war, we probably wouldn't have had council estates built alongside golf clubs. Probably have had a better membership, too. You know, Mr. Secretary, I sometimes think we were fighting on the wrong side. Makes you wonder if we didn't make an awful mistake. Large brandy, Tom, would you? 5 members we've got on the council, and they let them build houses for that nest of ruffians. It's like having an open prison on your doorstep.
Oh, don't knock the council estate. It's where we get most of our caddies from.
And our kitchen staff.
They shouldn't be allowed up here on the hill. This is a private estate. They should be barred. They're a menace. Another cold. Oh!
Don't breathe your germs over me.
They are not my germs. They're council house germs. You'll get it. You'll see. You'll all get them. They're not fussy who they give them to.
Mr. Secretary?
Lady Captain.
Is this true, what we hear about Johnson?
Yes, we're having an extraordinary general meeting later on.
Is that the German flag?
Well, it's not the Union Jack.
You should buy that from the flagpole, the way you treat women in this club. There is a woman sitting on the throne. There is a woman running the Parliament. It doesn't seem to have sunk into you lot, though. The course is half empty out there, and we still have to wait till 1:30 before we can play.
I'm sorry, ladies, but you know the rules.
Anyway, Lady Captain, this is a gentleman's club.
Gentlemen wouldn't treat ladies the way you treat ladies in this club. The wives and mothers of Englishmen, and we're treated like second-class citizens. It's disgraceful.
But you're not a wife and mother.
She's not likely to be either.
I heard that, Mr. Bennett.
Don't make a scene, Miranda.
Make a scene? They should be tarred and feathered, the lot of them. The way they treat the women in this club. We're treated worse than foreigners.
Oh, that's not true, Lady Captain.
No, there's no restrictions on ladies. And no foreigners in this club. No foreigners in this club. No, you're made very welcome, ladies. You know that.
No restrictions made welcome, oh yes, except on the course and in certain rooms until after certain hours. We're not allowed in the bar even while we're waiting to play.
Bit early for drinking, isn't it?
That's as may be, but nevertheless the bar is full of male members swilling it back, even at this early hour.
Yes.
And by the smell of your breath, you've already had a few. And when they do drag themselves out of the bar and onto the course, we ladies are confronted with a further disgusting spectacle of having to witness them continually running behind trees to relieve themselves.
Could use the fairways if it wasn't for them.
Mr. Bennett.
You see, the gentlemen are out on the course for a long time, and nature does...
There is nothing natural about such an extreme of incontinence. It's lack of discipline. Come along, Maud.
Yeah, no, I'll mention it to the committee later on. I'll tell the...
Give me another brandy, would you, Tom?
Yes.
Ladies, bloody ladies.
What's all this about Johnson?
Oh, sod Johnson. We've got enough trouble without worrying about Johnson. Bloody women are kicking up now.
I thought you liked the ladies, George.
Not lady golfers. If I had my way, I'd only allow them to play between 10 at night and 6 in the morning.
Well, if some of the members had more sense than to marry lady golfers, we wouldn't have to have them here at all.
And catch me letting a wife of mine take up golf. I'd make sure she had enough to do keeping the house tidy without wasting her time around golf clubs.
My wife plays. She's a better golfer than I am.
Well, it's your own fault if you allow that sort of thing. This is a man's club. We don't want women poking their noses in. It's a place where a man should be able to get away from women. Wives, anyway.
There's a lot of strange bods in the locker room, Mr. Secretary.
Visitors. They paid their green fees.
There's a fight in the locker room, Mr. Secretary. Jim Dalton, one of the visitors.
I told him he was in the long locker room. I told him never mind about green fees. This is a private locker room and it's out of bounds to non-members. It's off limits. Then he gets insulted. Insults me. Says it's not a friendly club. Get him out of here. Make him apologize.
No, there's no need for all that. Darling, There's nothing intended, I'm sure. A misunderstanding. Go on, shake hands.
What?
Shake hands!
Never apologise! He's antisocial here!
You let strangers in and what happened?
It's not fair to members.
Oh, never play here again!
You're not wanted!
This is what I was saying. You extend courtesy, and this is what you end up with. It's not worth it. It's not worth the aggro.
Hey, you!
What?
Well, I'm afraid we're very busy today. We've got 2 societies out. We've got one this afternoon. We've got the Worshipful Society of Belt Makers at 2:30.
See you, Chad. Cheerio, John.
Yeah, and yes. Well, listen, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's a good time. Why don't you get out at 5:30? Yeah, I know it gets dark at 6. You don't want to play the whole round, though, do you?
Mr. Secretary, there's no towels in the locker room.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Why are we waiting? Where is that secretary?
All right, all right. You want wet nursing, you lot. I don't know what they do with the towels. Some of the members must take them home. That's 10 towels we've lost in the last 3 weeks.
There is no soap in here either, Mr. Secretary.
I put 8 bars in there yesterday.
What kind of members have we got here?
Dirty members, if you use that much soap.
That kind of member.
Yeah, that's for visitors.
Warning them against us?
It's not the visitors who are taking the towels and soap home.
Yeah, and you don't need a fresh towel for what you've got up there.
I had a friend turned down for membership here. I vouched for him. He doesn't steal towels, and he's not a pickpocket either.
If I was you, Sam, I'd keep quiet about that friend of yours. I mean, I'm surprised you should have had more sense than to put a man like that up for membership.
A man like what?
Yes, I'm not going to blacken a man's character. He's your friend, but you know what kind of a man he is.
I trust Jerry Watts with my life.
Yeah, I bet you wouldn't trust him with your wife, though.
Well, if you're referring to that business at the Melville Golf Club...
Yeah, what happened at the Melville Golf Club is none of my business.
Yeah, all right, all right. So he misbehaved himself there. But he wasn't the only one who was giving it to the captain's wife at the Melville.
He was the only one that was giving it to her in a bunker on the 18th green in 4 gear.
I hope he rigged the bunker out afterwards.
I blame the joker who pulled the curtains and turned all the outside lights on so that everyone could see them.
Yeah, well, that was naughty, I suppose, but you can't blame the committee for turning him down. I mean, Melville is a very important fixture. We play them twice a year.
That's right, but we can't take on a member that's been drummed out of another club.
Well, if a fellow like Johnson can be a member...
Yes. Johnson's still a member.
Yeah, we're looking into that, aren't we?
Mr. Secretary!
Yes, Gary! Lift that bar.
That's when I trod on a rake in the bunker.
What are we going to do about Johnson, Secretary?
Yeah, I think the least said about Johnson at the moment, we must have the facts. We have to be careful about allegations at the moment.
Allegations or not, we want to know.
Yeah, I don't think we should discuss it here.
He'll have to leave the club.
Sure, I should say so. Oh, come on, it's not a crime. I mean, really, what's he done?
What's he done? He's had a damn sex change. That's what he's done.
I think we should leave it to the committee.
Committee or no committee, we don't want any sex perverts in the club.
A sex change is not a perversion.
Well, what is it then? I mean, it's not natural. I mean, it's not disciplined, is it? I mean, what would happen if we all did that? I mean, where would we be?
Here, I take it he won't be allowed to use the men's locker room.
Yeah, well, what other locker room then? Not the ladies.
Well, if he is one.
Yeah, no one knows what he is yet.
Has anyone seen him, you know, since...
Since his operation?
We don't want to see him. I mean, we're told he's not welcome in the club.
No, what I mean is naked.
Naked?
Find out what he is. Whether he's a man or a woman.
Someone ought to take a look.
Aye?
On behalf of the club. So to look at the gender.
The genital areas.
Thank you, Woodley.
I think perhaps you ought to take a look, Mr. Secretary.
I don't think that there's any need for that.
Well, I'm sorry. I think there is, Mr. Secretary. I'm not a doctor. I can't go looking.
If he is a woman, it could be very embarrassing.
You don't have to be a doctor in a case like this.
It would be indecent.
But you've seen him before.
Yes, but that was when he was a man. If he's a woman now, yeah, I think the lady captain.
The lady captain. She should be present.
And the secretary. He should be there. One of each sex makes it decent.
No, right.
Is the captain's fund on the agenda?
The captain's fund? I thought we were here to discuss Johnson.
Later. Yeah, I want to get rid of any other business.
Well, we want to get rid of the Johnson business.
Order, please. Order for the president.
Thank you. Well, as you know, gentlemen, a captain's job in a club is a large undertaking, and our present captain, Mr. Brady, has had a very good year.
Yeah.
And a year
What
in which...
about Johnson?
He can be ladies' captain.
What about expelling Johnson?
Oh, yes. Now, I'd have to look into the correct procedure for that.
Kick him out. That's the correct procedure.
Yes, now, what we have to look into is, can he be expelled from the club?
Yeah, on what grounds? What, because he's a woman? No, that won't do. No, that would be sexist, and that's against the law.
It should be against the law to change into a woman.
Yeah, well, it isn't, and we can't expel him for that.
Well, we should be able to.
But you can't.
But it's a private club. Why can't we?
What does his wife say about it?
Well, she's upset.
Yes, she would be.
Yeah, but what's she doing about it?
Well, she said she'd stay with him for the sake of the children.
But what about the trophy board? I mean, he's won the Scratch Cup 3 times. His name's up there in gold letters. What are we going to do? Change it to Miss?
A lady isn't supposed to play in the Scratch Cup.
He wasn't a lady when he played in it.
He wasn't a gentleman either.
It's going to be very embarrassing. I think we should make a rule.
A rule?
Now, whoever's name goes on that board in the future, we must have a guarantee of his unimpeachable character.
Well, are we going to do that? I mean, he seemed all right when he played for it.
Oh, dear. We'll appoint a winner in future, if you like. Don't leave it to chance. We'll appoint someone we all know who can be trusted in every way. Someone we all know is not a bad one.
Yeah, but we shouldn't have any bad ones in the club.
Well, we have.
This man, this woman, this
thing.
Woodley. You know, this is turning out worse than I thought. He's really dropped us in it. He must have known he was on the turn when he played. He must have known. I mean, he must have known something was going on. I mean, you can't have a thing like that happening to you without getting an inkling of it. I mean, all of that going on, and when you're in that state, why did the swine play in the competition if he knew? Can't we disqualify him? Jack, you were close to him. I mean, didn't you notice anything? I mean, you're as thick as thieves, you two.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, nothing. Well, you were out in Spain with him for 3 weeks.
We were playing golf!
Oh, yes.
Well, that's what you said. Didn't you two share a flat together?
You'll get a punch on the nose, you insinuator! Now you're making bloody accusations! I'll take you.
Yes? Johnson's here in the men's bar.
Yeah.
He's wearing a dress.
have you a moment?
Oh,
They say you've had a sex change.
yes. I felt I needed it.
Well, we're not very happy about it, you know.
But I'm not very happy about it myself. I feel they could have done a bit more for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see any difference apart from the wig and the frock.
Do you have to wear that dress? Yes, I'm afraid so. It's the only one I've got. And the wife's clothes, they won't fit me, which is awkward. And I know as soon as I start buying things for myself, she's going to complain. You wouldn't buy me a new dress, but you'll buy yourself one. And women's clothes are so much more a problem than a man's. You've got all your accessories, and you can't be seen in the same dress too often. And this handbag, do you know what this cost? Well, of course, I wanted a nice one. This is crocodile. The wife's furious. She wants one now.
Yes, it's nice.
Mr. Secretary, I must see you about joining the ladies' section now.
Yes, well, I'm afraid it'll be rather difficult.
It's out of the question.
Would you excuse us for a moment? Excuse us, please.
Was your operation private?
Oh, yes, very. There was just myself, the surgeon.
I mean, did you pay for it, or was it on the National Health?
Oh, no, I paid for it myself. I should try and get your money back.
Couldn't they do anything about your teeth? Your nose, I mean.
No, they don't do anything about your face, your general appearance sort of thing. All their work is on your other bits. Well, you're not going to get much chance to use your other bits. Unless they can do something about the rest of you.
Mr. Johnson.
Miss, please.
You know, I must warn you that the committee has taken a very grave view of this matter.
Mr. Secretary, I understand how some of the members must feel, but I couldn't help myself. I was trapped in a man's body. You still are, as far as I can see.
You still have to shave, don't you?
Lady Captain has to shave.
I see what you mean. He looks just as much a woman as she does.
Well, he looks as much a woman as any of the other women here, but that's not the point. He's not a woman, is he? He's not a real woman.
Yes, but that's only because we know he was a man. Supposing he joined another golf club.
Well, he isn't known, you mean? We don't know his history.
Yeah, he'd be just another lady golfer then. Yeah, I think that's the answer. Why don't you join another golf club? Go somewhere else, start a new life.
But I know everybody here. These are my friends.
I wouldn't count on that. And you're not allowed in the men's bar.
Right. Except on ladies' nights.
He don't want him.
You're making things very difficult.
He's a male member.
Not anymore.
Well, as far as my ladies are concerned, he still is.
But he's got a doctor's certificate to say he's a woman.
It doesn't make a man a woman just because he wears a dress.
Written proof from a doctor.
Have any of your ladies got that?
None of my ladies need written proof of what they are. Have you written proof you're a man?
Yeah, no, Miranda, please.
It's your problem, gentlemen. It's a male member.
It's a woman. It's a woman now.
It's a bloody imposition, that's what it is. Isn't there a rule somewhere, Secretary? I mean, if a member joins by making a false... if he makes a false, perfidious, inaccurate declaration of what he is or what he's supposed to be, I mean, doesn't that constitute a misdemeanor and therefore an infraction of the rules?
A violation.
An infamy.
Yeah, I think we might have him there.
His application for membership, he must have stated it there.
Yes, but does it inquire if he was male?
Well, it must do. British and male.
British, yes, but does it inquire as to sex?
I'll have to look it up. The sex of the applicant is usually obvious.
Well, his wasn't.
It was when he joined.
Insist that he wears trousers and uses your locker room.
What about the toilets?
If he uses a cubicle, no one's the wiser.
In the men's?
Well, certainly not in the ladies.
But the men won't have it.
Nor will we.
What about a bucket behind the pro shop?
Yes, there are some old sheds there.
Get him an L sign.
We can dig him a hole.
Bury him in it.
If only we could.
I really think a letter to the R&A.
That's it, the Royal and Ancient. Get a ruling.
Yes, well, some advice as to the legal proceedings.
And in the meantime?
I think the ladies will have to cooperate.
He's one of yours. We don't want him.
The secretary has transferred him.
Then you can untransfer him. My ladies do not want him in our locker room.
But he's got a certificate!
I don't give a damn about his doctor's certificate! It's all very well you talking about a doctor's certificate, but we've known him for years as a man. Robert Johnson. Mr. Robert Johnson. And we don't want him in our locker room gawping and ogling at us.
Straight down the middle, it went straight down the middle.
And there'll be more from the 19th hole next Monday at the same time. And following in a few minutes tonight, World in Action on the Le Mans racecourse with the Jaguar car team.
Wrapped in my towel, I say that it went straight down the middle. Where it wound up is a riddle, but it went straight down